What is going on, you raging lunatics? Guys, now we got to talk because the market is about to explode one more time. But the question is, will Luna Classic and USTC continue the run? And to be fair, this run was kind of unexpected. Now, if you were following me, then obviously you expected it because you knew there was a breakout. If you were following Lunc Predator, you knew it because it looked like there was a breakout. We were calling it before anybody else. And if you haven't, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the like button, the bell to be notified of future content, and leave a comment down below letting me know that you like Luna Classic, letting me know that you're a fan, and also make sure that you're following Lunc Predator, now called Luna Classic Labs, on Twitter. We're the guys that are calling these things, letting you know what is going on in this space. We're not saying things like we're just gonna go ahead, do whatever, and you know, that wild stuff. We're not the people who don't know what a chart looks like. We're not the people who are trying to fluff, if you will. Don't giggle. Anyway, we're going to talk about what's going on with Terraform Labs. Again, we're always going to go back to Terraform Labs until the moment that we've got some clearance from Kwon. When that happens, we've got some clarity about his status, then we will know a lot more about the direction and the ease by which Luna Classic will recover. We are supported in this ecosystem. We're not the #1 traded token, fun fact, in this ecosystem, but it's very, very close. Now, let's look at the first thing, and the first thing is going to be Terraform joins Utah court with threat to sanction SEC for misrepresentations. Now, it's getting bad for Gary Gensler. You've got to recognize that. I hope that you do. It's the thing about this is that Democrats don't really care. They don't have the dignity and self-respect at this point right now to think or recognize the harm that they cause with the SEC to everything that's happening in all of the different facets in which the SEC governs. They don't get it. They're just in attack mode. You have people like Pocahontas Warren, who comes out and lies to you brazenly about crypto space. And you can go look all these things up, by the way. But now the courts are starting to step in. Terraform Labs points to the SEC for misleading the court in the debt box digital licensing case. The defendant questions the financial regulator's general use of excerpts of evidence and allegations in amended complaint. Mind you, yesterday we revealed that only parts of evidence were used and not full context. Those are called lies because they're using it as a deceptive means to trick you into thinking that something is not as it seemed. Judge Shelby cited the financial regulator for misleadingly cajoling the court into imposing a temporary restraining order against Debtbox. So this is getting very, very interesting. And remember this, that Kwon is involved in this, and you know, we've got some more coming from the SEC. The extradition, the prosecution application to have Kwon extradited was approved by the basic court. Where the justice manager would extradite remains unknown. The court said the Terra founder would be repatriated after serving a 4-month sentence for forging documents. Now, that would generally mean that he's going back to South Korea to stand trial there and not to the United States, where he has no business being, by the way. I do want to stress that, that he has no business in the United States at this point, that this should be tried where he was, where he lived, which would be in South Korea. This is an attempt by the U.S. government to intercede and overtake the natural process, which is very wild, very wild. But I do think that we're going to start to see some things fall apart for the SEC because it's the SEC, because Goldman Gary is a crook and a criminal, and we know that it is. But let's move on here. I want to look at the charts just a little bit, but first we're going to go into governance. The governance pay-per-view, pay-per-job, and governance ruled job list is now approved. So we've got enough for the passing of this, and now we're in maintenance mode. And the next thing here is going to be repeg. That's it. The focus here from this point forward will be or should be on repegging USTC and Luna Classic to make this thing work. Now, volume-wise, we're looking at a big, precipitous sort of decline in volume, down 40% in the 24 hours on Luna Classic. On USTC, down 44% to 229 million. Does that mean the shine is wearing off? Well, 84 billion tokens have been burned. That's not a lot, guys. We have to stress that this is not a lot. This is all about repeg and what we do going forward with this. So I'm kind of prepping you here for what's going to happen next. And then finally, the most traded tokens, 3.4 billion in the last 7 days, and 2.6 billion in the last 7 days, while 4 billion is what was traded for Rune. So massive amounts. And it should be noted, and it has to be recognized, that even at the fourth spot was Luna. So these are the ones that people want to trade. I mean, you at this point, you're not even seeing Crow on here. So you got to be asking yourself, like what's going to go with our chart? What's going to happen? What is going on, everybody? I'm here to follow up with you about Cryptonomy.finance. Now, guys, you saw the previous video where we staked in our flexible account some Bitcoin. We've earned 0.0004 Bitcoin so far off an APY of 24.72. Now, yesterday I went in and I staked just a little bit more, and I did it on the fixed right now in this profit sharing right here. I'll get you the results of that coming up very, very soon. But I wanted to talk today about this launch pool. So the launch pool, this is where the quote unquote rubber hits the road for Cryptonomy.finance. These are the past events that have happened, and these are the yields that you've seen up here. You've seen 4X's, 12X, 20X. There's a 394 Shiba Saga, if you remember that one a couple months ago. Sparta Dex 8X, Kryptonite 5.4X, Sophieverse 8X, 15X. All of these are in the green so far. 207 from Posey Swap. So what we're going to do is we can take some positions in these projects here. This is a little bit more profitable. This is going to be the big thing. So we're going to come over here to the launch pad, and this flagship product ensures maximum profit and security. There's going to be, and by the way, what you're going to have in these upcomings, you're going to have some statistics that you're going to be able to look at and check out. So what we're going to do is we're going to click the create a contract button, and we're going to select the bronze plan. Okay. And then we're going to deposit all of it. We're just going to put a max one right in here. That's 0.48 Bitcoin. That's, guys, forgive me while I take a breath here. We're going to take that. We're going to put the whole thing into it. We're going to do this right here, and we're going to create that. Now, we are in this pool. When we get the yields, when we get the returns, once we get approved for this, and once these things start launching, we have 17,800 invested into this, and we will see how this builds, how this runs, how this goes. I am super excited about it. Also, let's see what happens. We'll talk to you again. What's going to happen? So let's look at this right now, and you can see that we've cast off the 50 SMA, just lost the 50 SMA, and we're really kind of hitting the fib retracement level. Now, what I was looking for was a move up here, and we did get the move up here, by the way, into 28. Didn't keep going, and we knew that this was going to be a possibility, because we pulled this off. This was the perfect play. Told you exactly what was going to happen here. That if we had an optimal play out, that the next play would be towards that upside. Well, we didn't get that move. What we got was this downward sort of trajectory. Is this the product of a double top? It's very possible that it is. We've tested high. We've tested the high one more time, and now we're kind of left to see, like, what happens next. Well, we're going to have the retracement. We're going to have the retest. Most probably, I would expect to see us come down here and test this 19 level right here. As you can see on the fib retracement, that's the 0.382 level, maybe even coming down into the 17 range for the 0.5. Golden Pocket is now down here at 15.29 to 12. So, and that also matches up with the 200 SMA. So there is still a possibility for some significant downside. And of course, you guys, if you've been doing this for any length of time, you know the people who are invested in this token. You know that we've got a lot of paper-handed, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do, sort of people, the unsavvy, if you will. So there will be some sell-off, and once the sell-off starts, once we see, like right here, it has to be stated, what we got in this situation, what we got this top over here, then we got a dump, because we had achieved a spot where a lot of people said, well, you know what, this is wild where we got. They saw the chart, exactly what we posted, right? They're all looking at the same thing. And then it came back down. It immediately got bought back up, and then it retested. Now, here's what happened after that point. The entire market felt the same way, and the entire market started to dump, and Luna Classic started to dump along with it. Now, if you're thinking, well, Luna Classic doesn't always market, that's blah 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 blah. Whatever, right? You don't predict the market. You don't know the market. It just does. The market do what the market do. So now we've got this downward momentum, and we got a retest. And the problem with this retest is we came up, we got rejected, we came back down, we hit the retracement, we came immediately back up, but then the market dumped. The market dumped us back down here, and then we got a retest, but that retest didn't come back to the high. Now, that means that we're coming down. That's the most likely scenario. So this is the perfect architecture for when you're looking at a chart for here we go. All right. And then we're going to come back here and we're going to test this area right here. If we get a big move, if we get a tremendous upside move, then we're probably going to get rejected right around here. You see, this is the volume area recently. And, if we bounce around here and we get a little momentum, then maybe we come back up for that third test. Maybe we don't get rejected. Maybe we just continue on. Maybe the market just absolutely changes the dynamic of what it's doing right now. You can see right here, if I'm looking at this and I'm saying, is this bearish? Is this bullish? Well, I can see the money flow is still in the positive. I can see the RSI is super weak right now. I can see that the RSI, while being weak, came back up here and then rejected off of it. So I'm not thinking this is not bullish the way that it looks right now. However, when I look at this wick right here, I see that's a bullish indicator right there. So I think there's upside. When you see a wick like that, when you see a big wick, that usually means that there's some upside coming because buyers are stepping in and they're finding a price point that they want to defend and buy at because they think that there's some profit to be made. So, if you can run from, let's call it 2,200 up to 2,700, that's about a 20% gain. That's not insignificant. So, when you look at the range here, 21% in between these two lines right here. So there's some significant interest in continuing this trend. I know I'm over talking you guys with this a little bit, and I'm going to move on, but I just want you guys to see that there's a lot going on, a lot to unpack in this chart right now. So I want you to be very careful in your trading. Don't get wrecked. Don't get yourself in a bad position. Don't over leverage yourself at this point. Very difficult to say that this thing is going to continue to pop. However, look at USTC, and USTC remarkably, even though it did not maintain itself on the 50 SMA, did come down and retrace to the 200 SMA on USTC, looking very, very healthy. Now, problem is the same thing that we saw before. We saw that M pattern where we came up, we came back down, we had the retest, and we came back down again. We found support at the 200 SMA, and then we came back up here and then rejected back down, and now we're minting lower highs. Well, that usually signifies downward momentum. So it looks like we're probably headed down. This is another confirmation on this one. Now, that does not mean that it really is the case. This thing could all just absolutely go out of its mind, but I don't know that it will. My guesstimation at this point is that we are going to see bearish momentum kind of kick in unless we get a really wicked move from Bitcoin, forcing the rest of the market to come along. Now, the problem with that move is for Bitcoin to really start to rip, the money has to come from somewhere, and the most likely place is it's coming from alts. That means that we probably will shed market in the pairing. So Bitcoin to Lunc is probably not going to look that good. It's probably going to look more like we're not going to move, or we're even going to dump a little bit. USTC, the same thing compared to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, in order for it to rip, everybody has to be involved. Now, if that happens, here's the good news. If that happens, then we rip up to 48,000. I do believe we're going to get a mini altcoin season. We get a mini altcoin season, everything changes about Luna Classic. And I do think it's reasonable. I'm not calling it, but I'm saying that it's reasonable if we get an altcoin season for a quick 10x on both USTC and Luna Classic. Now, remember, let me go back here one step and say 10x on Luna Classic and about a 5x on USTC. I think the upside on USTC is far, far more limited than what it is on Luna Classic. But, all of this changes if we get that spread tax, if we get, some of these good ideas, principles, if we get some of that, if we get some reasons for this market to continue to send Luna Classic and USTC, if we get something, anything, a discussion, a great discussion that continues, if we get some good information about Kwon, any of this stuff that happens, then guess what? Next leg up, baby. Next leg up. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. I know I got a little wordy today, but I'm passionate about this. And I do think that maybe, just maybe, there's a recovery underway, but we're on that edge where we need a correction in this market, but the market does not want to correct right now. The market wants to continue sending. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. This is not financial advice. My name's Bleav. I am always right. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. By the way, if you want to send donations to Terra, there's a Terra wallet down here. If you want to send any kind of donations or anything like that, you can see the wallets down below. And if you want to support this channel, the easiest way to support this channel is all of the sponsors that are available that you see flashing above you. Go trade on MEXC. Use my link down below. Go trade on any one of these. And let me know, by the way, in the comment section if you do that. Appreciate each and every one of you, and we'll talk to you again very, very soon. Don't forget the merchandise.